Hey you, thank you for coming here and watching me talk to you. I appreciate you 1000% because you have options, but you decided to hang out with me for an hour and change. So thank you so much. Now, this is for those who want and who can do more. You have options in the description below. Pick the one that fits you best. And listen, if you can't find the one that's not there yet, then go ahead and donate to the channel's Buy Me a Coffee. It's the channel's support page. It does help. But regardless, you watching till the end, liking, subscribing, clicking the bell notification, interacting with me in the community helps me a ton because it allows the channel to be pushed by the algorithm to other people. So no matter how you spin it, you are a winner. Thank you. Okay, Darrell Brooks' final folder, at least in my book, in my note taking. Today, we're going to unveil this folder. I see it here and there when I do my reporting for other videos because everything is right here in my little operating station here. So I opened it, and it's funny because as I went through all the links and the notes that I've put in, it bring like memory flashback of my emotions and my feeling and my laughter when I actually put those notes down. So I think this is going to be interesting for me as well. All right, let's get into it. Just follow the operating flow of the video and enjoy it along with me. All right, and let's get started. But again, for those who are new here, I am Alistair Nzekio, and this is my point of view. Do you remember when Daryl Brooks was like stressing the fact that jury notification, you the jury, you have the power to do whatever the heck you want. And so we were all like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. We hope a juror was not influenced by that information, right? But if you go back a little bit and you look at the first moment Darrell Brooks had an issue with a jury, it's this one. Let's look at the history of Darrell Brooks and his jury obsession as his key to freedom. Let's check this out.
The black that's closest to the screen in that corner chair over there, I recognize her from my initial appearance. She flipped me off coming in to my initial appearance and coming out. I know it's her for a fact. I seen her about like how I'm looking at you right now, so I know for a fact that's her. I don't want that to end up being an issue. Is this some type of way that could be addressed by Your Honor?
Mr. Brooks, you had an opportunity to exercise preemptory strikes and even to question jurors about that. You chose not to. So at this point, any issue you have with that juror is waived.
Okay.
But listen very carefully. Personally, I do think that juror flipped him. She did. I don't think he's smart enough to think of something so random as a flip-off. I really don't think he's that smart. I do think there was something going on with that juror, otherwise he would have brought it up. And the juror was probably smart enough to make sure nobody saw it. And to be really quite honest, I think I've told you, right? I get called for jury duty and I get dismissed every single time because I'm one of the jurors where if you paint me a good picture and if it makes a lot of sense, it's difficult to convince me otherwise. And I guarantee you the juror was like, look. Oh, my glasses. I mean, I don't want to do it because it's too early in the video for YouTube. Oh, my glasses. Oh, what the weather today. Oh, oops. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. And Darrell Brooks saw it. Another thing also that I do believe that juror did what she did, because Darrell Brooks as a narcissist, his ego is completely not only in the toilet, it's very easy to offend narcissist. It's very easy to offend him. And he saw it, whether or not the juror did it, he perceived it as it, and he was lashing out. Is that what I wrote? That's exactly what I wrote. That he's offended. But to be offended, there needs to be a crumb of truth, right? Because that's what gaslighting is. That's what story spinning is. You need crumbs of truth, crumbs of fact to create a story around it. So I do think that juror must have slicked in, something, and he caught it. and he's mad because he recognized her and he wants to voice his discontent. But the judge didn't give a damn. Please, people didn't care. But let's let's entertain this.
Okay, you do remember that I was not present in the courtroom. I couldn't see. All I can see from that courtroom in there is just you, Your Honor, and the prosecution's table. I can't even see the bailiffs. So it was no way for me to even see who the jury was.
Did you notice that silence there in between him speaking and the judge?
I can't even see the bailiffs. So it was no.
The judge doesn't give a damn. Because he's like, I couldn't see the jury because I was in another room. Whose fault is that, Daryl? Now, honestly, whose fault is that? The judge probably was like, Another thing also that I've noticed with the judge is that, first of all, she got a lot of love, but she also got a lot of heat. I get to that in a little bit. That is, that's next segment. But she got a lot of heat, but in this, you could tell from her body language, even when the unspoken in between, she's not having a good time with Daryl insulting her court, pretty much. The integrity of her court. She doesn't like that.
Obviously, I wouldn't know him by name. If I would have been able to see the jurors, I would have immediately addressed that.
I will make this one indulgence. I'll have the civilian bailiff ask that juror if she was in attendance at your initial appearance out of an abundance of caution. These are jurors, though, who with the jury questionnaires were also asked what knowledge they had about proceedings they watched or even attended. And no one, to my knowledge, has disclosed anything like that, but out of an abundance of caution, we will ask that juror if she was in attendance at your initial appearance.
See that sigh? She's annoyed. She's annoyed. She doesn't want to do that. And she got a lot of heat for doing that. She got a lot of heat. Even I was wondering, why would she do that? And then in my mind, I said, well, it costs nothing, right? It's cost nothing. Actually, it does. It does. It's very inconvenient. It's a huge inconvenience. But I don't want to spoil it. It has everything to do with this hidden strategy that the judge and the prosecution had. I don't know if they spoke. We will never know. But these two ladies, the prosecution and the judge, I think they had a strategy to make sure this appeal never happens.
So for now, that's how I'll address it.
Look how pissed he is. Look at that. Look at that face. Look at that face. That's the face your child looks at you like, Mommy, you're embarrassing me, Mommy. Right? Look at that face. Glazed. Also, I want to point out, I'll do it in the editing process. I'm going to bring up this face many times because I want to point out the differences. Every time he wants something, as I told you in a prior Darrell Brooks video, he has a 5-step story spinning cycle. All narcissists do. They butter, they double check, they butter you up, and then they ask the question. A narcissist never asks you the question directly because they want to make sure you're going to say yes. They have a process. And when that process is shattered or interfered with, they go through this insult. He feels insulted. That's why he's looking at her like that. I'm going to bring up this face many times throughout this video because I want you to see the transitional situation going on up here in his head. Okay? Because it's so obvious. It's so obvious.
I'll advise you of what her answer is later.
Do we know the number?
Do you know the number of the juror, sir?
See? He's upset. So, someone says, what's the number of the juror?
They have numbers.
I just know that I can't see the number from here. I just know the chair she was sitting in.
Which chair, sir? Top row or the top or the bottom row?
The bottom row, the last black.
Look how disinterested the judge is. She's not interested. She's not interested. There's so many pens here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you know why I have 4 microphones? Look. She's not interested. Because every time I come down here in the office, I forget that I have a pen down here. So every time a new pen comes to the graveyard, every time. The only thing that's consistent are my notes. Now that, because I need my notes. My notes are over there. Oh my God. If I show you those, you're gonna gag at me. No. I'm not showing you my mess. My control mess. Okay. Yeah, the judge she's not happy. She's annoyed.
Black chair. Black shirt. She had the black
They're
shirt
all
on.
black chairs, sir. So
The last
chair
black
closest-
chair closest to the television.
Thank you, sir. 'Cause
I want you to pay attention to how he expresses, right? It's in a threatening way. I want you to pay very close. I'm going to play it again. Okay? I'm going to play it again. Keep in mind, the judge pretty much told him, shut the F up. I'm only going to indulge you this one time, but whatever you're saying is not going to happen. So he has that face of being offended. He was not able to story spin, so he's upset. And so he stares at that judge with that face. That's a change of mental gear, okay? And then look how aggressive he becomes after that statement.
The last black chair. Black shirt. She had the black
they're
shirt
all
on.
black chairs, sir. So
The last
chair
black
closest-
chair closest to the television.
Thank you, sir.
Do you see how intense his stare is? Do you see how intense his stare is? Look, he has a mask on. All we see is eyeballs. Intense.
There are two sides, right?
He's talking down on the judge, even though she's up here. She's up here in terms of positioning for his eyeballs. He's making sure you can really tell from just the subtle movements of these two little binoculars up here. You could tell he is piercing through her. Piercing through her. Look how annoyed he is.
Black chair closest to the television.
Right? Isn't it how you speak to someone you don't value in terms of their intellect? That's how you speak to someone you're like, oh my God. He's annoyed. He's annoyed. Look at that pierce. Pointing. People do that when you're upset with someone, right? Olympia, go to your room. Maybe not with a frown. Let me do it again. Olympia, go to your room. Oh wait. Oh, I forgot to change the pictures. Oh, whatever. Daddy Bailiff, did I do a good job? Oh my God, it's so early. Look, new people. I swear, I'm normal. Ish. I swear. Look, let's press play.
Thank you, sir, because there are two sides, right? So there's the last chair on both sides. So I wanted to make clear. You're saying the chair closest to the television.
Look how
Thank
annoyed.
you.
Look how annoyed.
Right at the beginning, Your Honor.
Front row.
Okay, to be fair, he did say at the beginning, but that's not even the point. The point is that, look, we're all humans, right? This judge is a human. She was not listening at the beginning because what you're saying, Daryl, is nothing but poop. She was not listening. So yeah, repeat yourself, but that's not even the point. The point is that he has the audacity to sit there and look deflated, annoyed, defeated, and inflated. Whatever word you want to put there. The audacity. There's so much audacity here. I've put audacity many times in my notes. I've put it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So I might say that a lot. Audacity. Yeah, he was very audacious, this man. This next part, do you remember when we were all watching the TV, stupefied at the fact that there was this alleged claim that a juror actually went on Reddit and created this post? I remember when I first saw that, I was like, oh my God, how did he escape and use the computer? Please, I thought that was a legitimate post. And I used to say to myself, no, what have you done, juror? What have you done? Yeah. So let's relive this moment. Because I put damn up there. Let's relive this moment.
Was an email, and then the attachment, which is a color print off. Looks like the person took a screenshot, and that the anonymous post claimed to be a member of the jury on the case, and here are my thoughts on the trial and on this subreddit.
Justice for Darrell, by the way. I need to write this down so I don't forget, because on the next segment, I do want to point out a few things. Justice for Darrell, get out of here. You know what? You're fired. Everybody who put that, you're all fired. You're all absolutely fired. I'm going to point out something in the next segment, and I hope that's going to make things a little clearer about certain things. I'm talking in riddles. I don't want to spoil it for you. Sorry. I got a little heated. Let's press play.
Apparently, again, it's a subreddit called Justice for Daryl. All those Justice, the number 4, and Daryl, all no spaces.
I'm sorry to interrupt again. I remember when I saw this, I was pissed in real life. I was pissed, and I said, "Darn it, this could be a mistrial." I didn't know that Reddit post when it came out, and I was like, "Oh my God, I cannot believe there's a mole in this jury situation. How did he escape the confinement of their confinement?" I was like, "What? Did they throw the phone through the building, and the windows open, and the guy is a baseball person and threw the phone?" I was like, "How?" I was very naive at the fact that I'm naive to trolls. I am. I'm naive to trolls. I really believe that. Oh, I was so upset because I really thought this was going to be like a mistrial. Oh, I was so upset. It's funny looking this again. It stirs up stuff.
I then had contact with Captain Dussault, advised him that this should be investigated, and basically turned over the matter to law enforcement for a full investigation.
Okay, again, pause. Just reading through that, Mr. Brooks has clearly not been given the chance to plead his case, right? Oh man, the next segment, I'm going to get you all. Whoever believes this guy is still innocent. There is. Did you know that? Did you know there's some people who believe he is innocent? You wouldn't believe it if I told you. I just told you. Yeah, and you wouldn't believe for what reasons. Man, the subject matter jurisdiction? Please, let me tell you who believes it's not who you think it is. It's not who you think it is. It's disappointing.
At that point, I made a determination based upon my review of the information that I would not stop what was happening in terms of the trial with the instructions to the jury and ultimately the closing arguments, and then turning the case over to the jury for deliberations. And of course, I am concerned about the integrity of these proceedings, and I will take whatever action that I deem appropriate once a full investigation is done. But at this point, there is no, I would say, credible information that this is in fact a member of the jury. But I will leave that for law enforcement to determine, and of course, if need be, at the conclusion of the case, when the jury reaches a verdict, I certainly will consider whether any questioning of the jurors at that point is warranted. So that's the information I wanted to provide. Again,
I'm so distracted by Daddy Bailiff. Sorry. Hi. My God. Can I tell you another secret? This jury notification situation, this Reddit post is when I really noticed that this bailiff is unrelentlessly stoic. Hi. Okay, that's right.
copies of this information will be provided to the parties, and there is a full investigation underway by the Sheriff's Department. I have no further information about it at this time. I will not be the judge that will further be reviewing it in terms of any requests related to that investigation. I will simply be handling whether any requests as relates to this case in particular. And I hope we have the copies for the parties. And we'll provide those. Go ahead.
I was making sure you was.
Okay. Here comes the act. We all know how rude this man is. Let's see the story spinning in action. What's the first thing they do? Butter you up. Look at, because he only has a mask, right? Look how coy, nice, gentle. Hi, Your Honor. Look how nice this monster becomes, just to make a point. Look.
Go ahead.
First. What is this?
We all can read. You mean what this is? She spoke for like 20 minutes. Please.
All I can tell you, sir, is that there is apparently on.
Look at that face. I'm going to compare this face. You see when the eyebrow goes like this? Huh? You see that? What? Huh? Acting all puerile. To what? To disarm you. Because he has something to say. He can't say it outright.
On the internet, on a site, or maybe it's an application, I'm not entirely sure, called Reddit. There's a subreddit that is entitled Justice for Daryl, and it was on that subreddit that someone wrote an anonymous post claiming to be one of the jurors. That, of course, would be a violation of the rules that I set up for the jurors, which is why I turned over the information to law enforcement so they could make a full and complete investigation.
For the record, I accept for value in return for value these documents. I'm confused.
Now he's all acting cooperative. He cares. He loves the law. How dare them break the law? Right? All cooperative. He's so non-threatening you wouldn't think it's the same person. It's not for nothing. Please, this man has an agenda. It's not for nothing. He's making himself small because he sees an opening to wiggle. He's looking to wiggle something. What? I mean, now we know what happened to the case, but he's wiggling for the fact of like, oh, well, dismiss the jury, retrial. Please. That was a juror? Dismiss them all, judge. He's wiggling about something.
At this point, sir, I'm providing...
Look how concerned he looked. Look how concerned.
The information. I trust that the parties will review it, and if a party believes that any request needs to be made of this court, then an appropriate request will be made. But at this point, I'm just advising the parties of the information that I have.
And it's very clear. The judge says, look, we have this. Everybody shut the F up. Someone's going to investigate this stuff. But no, Daryl won't let that go because Daryl sees a crack and he's trying to wiggle his big old head through that crack. He won't stop talking about it. There's not more the judge can say. I did say that up here. He won't stop talking about it. That means he has an intention for it. He's interested. And if Daryl is interested, run. If Daryl is interested, go the opposite way. Oh my God.
And I will add this. I will, of course, it's important that the results of any investigation be turned over to the parties. I don't know how long that will take, but that is also my direction. That was really the only direction I gave to law enforcement, is that the results of the investigation that be turned over to the parties.
Was this... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Was this just found out about this morning?
Yes, the email that was sent to the clerk of court was received at 9:10 a.m. And then that email and the attachment, I'm aware of a second email.
Look how concerned he looks. You know why he's interested into this darn statement? Because if you read it, it fits into his narrative, a jury notification. Subject matter jurisdiction. It fits into the narrative. That's why he's fixated at that. He's like, oh my God, here's a crack. See, I told you didn't confirm your subject matter jurisdiction. Therefore, I should be like free. Can you believe this monster? He really thought, he still does, by the way. He still thinks he's innocent. He still thinks he's supposed to be walking free. He still thinks he's not liable, or he still thinks he's not allowed to pay for his sins. Yeah. When this is when we first found out about this thing, I was screaming. I was screaming. And actually I was shouting at the TV. And that's when my spouse was like, "What are you yelling about?" I was like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just screaming. Like, about what? Oh my God, you have no idea what's been going on, have you? No? Well, look at that. Yeah. And then my spouse was like, "Yeah, you've been watching this guy a lot." What's so special about this guy? And then I said, "Oh, come here. Have a seat." And I pressed play. That's all I said. And then my spouse said, "Oh, wow, he looks like your father." Mm-hmm. Yes. Look, I don't want to bore you, but yeah, let's press play.
Second email that was sent to our clerk of court at 10:02 a.m. And I think when we stepped off the bench following the case being given to the jury, I was advised that other emails had been received throughout the court system. And I simply said, obviously that information needs to go to law enforcement. I haven't seen it, haven't reviewed it. But any person who works in the clerk of court's office who has received an email that email about this topic will be forwarded to the sheriff's department. Their forensic unit is handling the investigation, to my understanding. Attorney Upper, did you have a question or something to state?
Yes, Your Honor. I just wanted to state for the record that I have also received similar emails at my office this afternoon. They were sent not to me directly, but to the district attorney's office website. And I only wanted to point out that in viewing the contents of the posting, well, first of all the emails refer to the exact same posting and the language is the exact same in all the postings. In viewing the content of the posting, we question the veracity of the posting because it refers to things that, quite frankly, are not true. And also, upon reviewing it, Your Honor, we came to the conclusion that it does not exhibit any material prejudice against Darrell Brooks that may affect the veracity of any verdict that may be returned in this case. The posting is largely critical of the court and to some extent the prosecution, but the nature of the posting is actually in support of Mr. Brooks. That's why it's under a subreddit called Justice for Darrell. And I don't believe there's any reasonable reading of this post that would lead someone to believe that it suggests the juror harbors substantial or material prejudice against the defendant.
Thank you. I appreciate the additional record.
That's so true. What? It's actually what I told you. Darrell is fixated on that because it's exactly, that's his language. That's his language. Literally, someone said, copy, paste, enter. That's it. That's why he's like, oh my God. I mean, in hindsight, now we know that, But I have an opinion about that. But yeah, Attorney Upper is correct. Attorney Upper, wink, wink, Upper.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
Go ahead.
Of course. He won't let it go.
Just briefly skimming through it. I do want to state for the record that I have no involvement with this. I'm
Okay. Come down, I'll stare. No, listen to me very closely. I did put in my notes, why would you make that? Nobody said it. Nobody said that. Even the way Attorney Upper spoke in her speaking, even though she insinuated that maybe, but she didn't say it so obviously. Why did Darrell Brooks went straight to the point and be like, I have nothing to do with this? Can I tell you a secret? And this is where I was like, oh honey, he has something to do with it because so I was very upset, right? I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be a mistrial. And then he said that, and I was like, oh my God, please. He would not have said that if he didn't think we were thinking it. And to think that for him to think that if we were thinking that he has something to do with it, that means he understands very well. His critical thinking is obviously functioning, that the content of that stupid Reddit post is very oddly similar to how he speaks. Do you understand? Anyway, long story short, I was like, this is where I'd actually paused the TV and my spouse was right there and I was like screaming. I was like, oh my God, he did it. How the hell did he do it? What? Yeah. I personally still believe that that someone over there at someone that knows Daryl wrote that, or someone that had a contact, someone he knows about this post. I hope I didn't scare you with that shout and screaming, right? But it's just, I just got very excited because as this thing is moving along, it's getting closer. And I was like, yeah, got it.
Really like shocked like this even came to light.
Yeah, okay. Shocked.
I will say
nothing.
Just by skimming through it, these
Sounds
are
like me.
definitely things that have been talked about in the court. So have to.
Hasn't it?
Common sense would say that this
Is me?
came from someone that has either been in the court to hear what goes on in the court or a jury member. There's no other way.
Could it be?
Well, actually,
Because
the
the-
proceedings are live streamed worldwide,
Okay.
Your Honor, available on YouTube worldwide, so I don't agree with that.
Look. The A-team, I call them the A-team. Look how much they're cackling. Oh, Attorney Upper, you are so shady. Actually, it's on YouTube worldwide. You are so shady, Attorney Upper. What you gotta say to that, Daryl?
That assessment.
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious that this would come from somebody who's actually. I think it's pretty clear.
He just repeated the same thing. In one of the first Darrell Brooks video I made, I said that, he's very smart to use a sovereign citizen situation. But, as the trial progresses and as I've learned and seen more of the trial, I realized this man is actually quite a stoop. And when I made that video, it's because he reminds me of my dad. Listen, my dad went to court with a mask. Precisely. The facial expression, the mask, everything. When I mean everything. And let me tell you something. We lived with him. Can you imagine living with Darrell Brooks? We've lived with my dad, okay? A complete nightmare. And to make things even worse, my father was actually quite smart. So when I made the video, because he looks so much like my dad, I was like, oh wait, that's pretty smart. I had no idea about sovereign citizen. I didn't know what that was. I had no idea about a lot of stuff. So I just assumed that he just popped up into his head. No, the more I learned about it, I was like, actually, no, you're actually quite silly. Silly. Very silly. But okay, so now we had the investigation and they realized that, you know what, Mr. Brooks, there's nothing there. So you're still going to be trialed. And so Mr. Brooks is upset. He's upset, darling. He's upset. What do you mean? What do you mean I have to be trialed? Listen to this.
if
I'm
I
Daddy
may
Bailiff.
bring up the in regards to the language, I also want to state that for the record, this did not come about from the prosecution side, from the defensive side, and certainly not from Your Honor's side. This is something that just pretty much sprang up. A lot of my concern, though, just not from just the language in the actual post, but I was kind of concerned that I was the last one to learn of this information that had been known. I wasn't aware of it until after 6:30 last night.
So the reason why I paused here is because I want to again show you the technique they use to story spin. Darrell Brooks in here, he wants a mistrial. So he's talking to the judge and say, you know what, because of this Reddit post, mistrial. But he cannot ask like that. So he has to go through 5 different stages, okay? First one is sympathy. He's gathering sympathy. I just found out about this like yesterday. And I was like in a state of shock and stupor. I didn't understand. I didn't know what that meant. But it's terrible, isn't it? Yeah. First stage, gathering sympathy. Okay? But he does not understand that in court, we don't have all day, Daryl. What the hell do you want? Right? But in real life, guys, do not underestimate that. In real life, it's highly effective. Because most people are like, okay, all right. It's highly effective. It's not nothing. Oh, boy.
For around that time, because I don't want to misquote the record, but somewhere around that time.
Look how polite and coy he is. I don't want to misquote the record. This is not a polite man. Do you understand? But look how much his behavior is so submissively different. Because he's gathering sympathy. He wants something.
It was shortly after 7.
Oh, so it was after. I didn't know. I thought it was. I knew it was after 6:30, but I didn't want to incorrectly state the record.
Oh, thanks, Daryl. I
I
consider
can
Honor.
it.
address that for you right now if you would like.
Yeah.
Do you know why he did that? It's derailing his strategy. Right? It's derailing his strategy. He's like, no, he doesn't care about. That's why he's like, he's not answering because he doesn't care. What he cares about is give me a mistrial. The judge is like, I can clarify that for you. He's like, no, I don't want a clarification. No, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for you to mistrial me. He's gonna say so many ums. The judge is like, what the hell do you want? And then he's gonna say what he wants. But let's just entertain the running around in circles.
If it pleases you, Your Honor, I would like to
If it pleases the heart.
request some alternatives to this issue.
Look how nice he is, if it pleases your honor. Since when has he ever asked for permission? Unless... I didn't mean to interrupt so many times. Oh, I get so heated when I talk about Daryl. Why is that? Oh, Daryl. No, it's because I can project myself to how I felt when I saw this. And throughout the entire time, because I didn't know Judge Darrell. I didn't know anybody. I was like, please, I hope nobody falls for this. I hope no one falls for this. Oh, thank God nobody fell for it. But, it was a possibility. It could have been a juror there who was stupid enough to be like, oh my God, he's damaged. Let's help him.
What's your specific request?
My specific request would be to
Do you know why he cannot answer? It's because narcissists cannot skip those steps. The judge is like, I can't be here all day. What the hell do you want? He cannot skip to the question. He cannot skip to the request. They can't. You go to every single narcissist, that's how they formulate, that's how they manipulate you. They can't blatantly ask you, can I borrow your car? Because without a backstory, you could say no. They need to make sure you never say no. So the backstory is, oh my God, I was running down the street and someone stole my bag and I was running and I tripped and I broke my ankle. And then I lost the car keys and it fell down the drain. But I have to go to work tomorrow. I don't know what to do because I have rent to pay. I need to get in the car to go to work. It's okay. I know. Can I borrow your car? I'm not even kidding. Oh, that was a good example. But wait. That's why they can't just skip to it. They lie just for the sake of lying. They can't even just be like, my car is broken. Can I borrow yours? They want to make sure you always say yes, because a no to them is literally, they have such a weak self-esteem. Narcissism is a self-esteem disorder. It's so shattered. A no will put them into a depressive state. It needs to be a constant yes. I told you, the cure for narcissism is one person who sits there by their bedside on their ears and tell them, you're amazing. No one can do better than you. You are the most beautiful thing ever. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you can do that, you are the cure of the narcissist. Have fun. Matter of fact, run. They're going to come and get you. Run. They're going to put you in the basement, chain you with a microphone. Run. All right. Oh, that was a big break. Let's just press play. Sorry.
Look into a mistrial and also any alternatives along those lines, short of that or along those lines, or a mistrial. So I was looking at some, obviously, yesterday was very, very long for everybody. And as you know, because of my status here in the jail, I'm allowed to have law library time up until a certain point of the evening, and then I have to shut it down per jail policy.
You see? So, he asked the question. Now he is garnering sympathy. Oh, as you know, over there, my life is hard. They can't help it. It's their strategy. Even stating what he wants simply, it's not possible, because they need to make sure they always get a yes. He can't help it. He said, I want a mistrial, but he said it so unconfidently. He said it with such insecurity. He doesn't even believe he deserves the mistrial. He doesn't even believe he deserves a mistrial. That's why he's like, mistrial, but along the lines of, or maybe something around of mistrial. But do you know, like, I was such in a hard state of shock over there at the prison. As you know, that's how I get my information. Yeah. Narcissism, let me tell you, it's a sad sickness. It's a sad disorder. Because everything they touch becomes ashes. Ashes. There are people who would never be happy. I'm going to tell something to you. If you happen to have a narcissistic friend, wait, someone corrected me on that in the comments. Oh, too much work. It's if you happened to be with someone that's narcissist, walk away. If it's your mom, walk away. If it's your father, walk away. If it's a friend, walk away. If it's a spouse, walk away. I'm telling you, everything they touch turns to ash. And the first thing they burn is the person who likes them the most. It's too big for you. Walk away. I'm telling you, walk away. There's no cure. There's no remedy. Unless you're willing to be chained in the basement and tell them how great they are, walk away. Okay, look. For those who like Darrell Brooks, they might be like, but for his defense, he has to make his case. Listen to me very closely. There's no case to be made. First of all, he's in jail for the rest of his life. So you lose. And second, go away. And third, because I could see through his mask. I could see through his mask, and like I'm irritated again because I was really upset. I was really upset with this whole jury notification stuff, and I was hoping nobody would fall for it. I was really hoping. I was really hoping nobody would fall for it because it works in real life. It works. It works. They throw some facts at you. They throw numbers and all that like points and joints, and you go, "Oh yeah, I guess you're right. All right, take my car." You know. I believe he's behind that post. I believe it. And when they said they were going to do the investigation for the post, and I was looking feverishly online about the results, there was no results, by the way. The only result was that that user was deleted. They disappeared. Honey, they disappeared because this is my opinion. This is my opinion. I think it was already too big. The case is too hot. The authorities were like, okay, look, Don. Oh my God. Oh my God. If you don't know who Don is, that's Darrell Brooks' mother. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, sorry. Look, Don, you're going to be in court next week anyway, right? Now you're going to close this account or we put you in jail. Oh my God. Oh, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. Okay, let's press play. So this one I mentioned, the judge is angry. I titled that, the judge is angry. And I've put 2 videos up here for that. And let me tell you something. The judge put up with a lot. And we have to commend her. But when I tell you there's some people who she got a lot more love than hate, but some people didn't like her. Some people who still, on both sides of the aisle, people who wanted Brooke put away and didn't like her, and people who wanted Brooke free and didn't like her, right? Well, let me educate you on something, people who don't like her. And I had to be educated on that too. Because the Darrell Brooks trial, I learned a lot. The whole on the record is to make sure that when the appeal happens, nobody can say anything. This judge had to swallow her own dignity. What? I am the judge. Don't speak to me like this. Who the hell do you think you are? Do you know what I mean? There's a certain level of respect that you cannot just step like that. And he was threatening. He was physically posturing. There's only so much someone can take. Even with all that, she kept her composure. Not because she wanted to. Please, she wanted to read him for filth. Because she knew her and Attorney Upper had an unspoken pact. Girl, we're going to make sure he never gets out. We're going to make sure this MF understands who's boss. And it ain't you, Daryl. Nor you, Don. Look. Oh, whatever. Nothing to look. Let's press play.
I'm going to ask this question one more time.
Man,
It calls for
I don't
a
like your tone and the way you're talking to me. I don't.
Mr.
I don't
Brooks,
appreciate it.
sit down. I don't care if you don't like my tone. You've been pushing my buttons all day throughout this entire trial, and I have shown the utmost of respect for you, and I don't appreciate you impugning the integrity of this court.
If that's what you want to call it, that's fine, but it's not accurate.
Stop talking.
What you mean, stop talking?
I need to make a ruling. Okay,
Well,
I'm purposely not putting you in the other courtroom
let's talk to each
now.
other like adults then.
Mr.
Because
Brooks,
I've never told you to stop talking.
No, but you've been extremely disrespectful. Hell, you yelled at her, you threatened her, you pound your fist at her. No, honestly, put yourself in her shoes. Yes. And at that moment, I was like, oh, Judge, yes, Judge, flick that hair and whip it. Whip it. She did that. Stop talking. Oh my god, if I had long hair, I totally would do that. Just for the affectation. Stop talking! Just for the affectation. Oh my god, Alistair, I am ridiculous. In real life, let me tell you something. In real life, this is why when I argue with people don't understand if I'm angry or laughing at them, because I would do something stupid like that. And they'd be like, wait, are we fighting? I'm like, yeah, we are fighting. Damn it. Oh my god.
I'm going to ask this question one more time, and if he doesn't answer it, I'll take it as a no. Do you want the opportunity to question Detective Casey regarding either his questioning or meeting up with your mom and your niece and nephew about possible testimony, or the search of your jail cell? Yes or no?
What was the problem with me asking the question about the
he's
jail
not answering
cell?
my question. We'll move on.
I'm trying to understand. If I
All
don't
right, we're gonna take a
understand,
break.
how do
We're
I
in
know?
recess, 15 minutes
How do
from
I
now.
know
Thank you,
what I'm
everyone.
supposed to answer if I don't understand?
Listen, I'm laughing now. This was very serious. This was very serious, guys. This was very serious. This was very serious, guys. Listen, this was very serious. Because that judge has been literally under attack. She told you she said she doesn't read all the letters. Please, she got all the support letters, but you don't think she got also negative letters? Thank God she didn't read all the letters. But even then, you think about that. Number one, she's a civilized human being. Number two, she's a woman in front of a criminal. Number three, like even the affectation of the stare, that will make me uncomfortable. I'm not even a judge, and I'm a male. That will make me a little bit uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? Like, she had to put up with that every single day. Damn it, every day. Come home to her husband and pretend like, oh my God, darling, nice to see you. Hi, kids. What? Pretend like she's not affected by this. Now, think about that for a little bit. Again, this goes way beyond just her. Think about that for a little bit. No, she needed to snap just a little bit. And look, and she even snapped with politeness. Please, she snapped better than me. I would have snapped so hard, I would have been removed from the trial, which is why she didn't snap so hard. She had to control her composure because she didn't want some slick lawyer to come here and slick his way into an appeal.
Your Honor, it has yet to be proven for the record.
Look at that.
And upon your refusal, that would be looked at as dishonor.
I'm not addressing it. The jury's coming out.
So is that a tacit agreement that you don't have to answer any questions as a public servant, Your Honor? Therefore, that's dishonor.
She's
Are you going to
controlling.
honor your
Previous
oath of
ruling
office?
stand. I'm not addressing it
Are
further.
you going to honor your oath of office?
All rise.
So I'll take that as a tacit agreement that you're not going to honor your
All
oath
right,
of
I'm going to
office?
have to excuse the jury.
She's composing herself for this man. Look!
Mr. Brooks, I warned you that if you made any interruptions when they came out, you would be removed to the courtroom. That's what I'm doing right now.
Goodbye.
I'm forfeiting your right to be present in this courtroom unless you can promise me right.
Unless she cut herself. She cut herself. Unless. Please, she meant it. She was like, get out. But she cut herself. Unless you can. Daryl, these are lawyers and judges. You have no idea. They know how things operate here more than all of us combined. Okay, if you want a profession to wiggle yourself out of stuff, accounting and lawyer. Those two, you can literally do every crime you want, kind of, sort of, any blue collar crime. Yeah, because you know how to wiggle yourself out of language, wiggle yourself out of, please. And these are the two toughest professions. Lawyers and accountants are smart, darling. None of this mess. You have no idea who you dealt with. This is where Mr. Brooks has a cut on his finger. And he requests medical attention immediately, darling. He requests medical attention immediately. Listen to me very closely. What? Look, listen to this.
That is not accurate, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks?
The reason
Mr. Brooks?
I would just want it.
Hold on. I'm going to mute you for a second unless you stop and listen to me.
I just heard what you said, but I just.
I'm not asking for a response, sir, Mr.
I'm laughing for something completely unrelated. Listen to me. In the comments, someone said about Brooks' fingers and how they're like crooked and like whatever. And now I can't unsee it. Now I'm looking at his hands. I'm like, ooh, yeah, I do see the crookedness. Oh my God, the comments were taking me out. We had a good time with Daryl.
Brooks?
It's not
You're
accurate,
interrupting. Hold on. You're interrupting me, sir. I wasn't looking for a response. I'm happy to ask you the question myself on the record for you to answer it. I will give you the opportunity to come back into this courtroom. You have demonstrated that you can make cogent, coherent, articulate arguments on the record. You just did that. You've been respectful for the time being. I will ask you, sir, do you want to come back into this courtroom? You've been unmuted to answer that question.
Not until I can receive medical treatment for the bruise that I have on my arm and the cut. You just said a while ago on the record that you cannot see blood. That's because I wiped it on my pants and you can still see the blood in the cut and a big bruise right here on my arm. I was told that the nurse would be coming in to see me. And then I was told, no, she's going to come at the next recess, which we just took. I know it was technical difficulties why you called the recess, but that was more than enough time for me to at least be seen, at least get the cut cleaned out and get it bandaged, at least at minimum that, and for somebody to look at this bruise. That was my position on why I was not yet ready to come back into the court, because I feel like this needs to be addressed.
All right, Mr. Brooks, I understand your request. I'm denying the request to take an adjournment, or I'm sorry, to take a break at this time.
I'm not asking for a break. I didn't ask for a break. I was just saying that at the time that there was the technical difficulty recess, before you even called that, Your Honor, I was told that a nurse was coming in at that time. But then when you called the recess for the technical difficulty, I was then told that I would have to wait until another recess to be able to be seen by the nurse, which my thing was, I
Mr.
wanted
Brooks,
to
you
get
made
seen
your
by the
record,
nurse.
okay? I don't need you to go further with that. You've made
Judge is like, shut up. He won't stop talking.
your record. I'm going to mute you for the time being. I want you to be aware, sir, I was advised regarding the cut. The bruise is new information. I made a determination that you would be seen at the next appropriate break. From my perspective, a small cut and a bruise is not going to hold up the start of bringing the jurors in and advising them of the preliminary jury instructions. If that means the next break we take is for lunch and that's when you are seen, then that's what will happen. So I don't think I've overlooked anything, Attorney Opper, but anything you had on your list?
Nothing else on my list, but we want to give Mr. Brooks one more opportunity to change out of his orange jail uniform, excuse me.
That I would give him an opportunity to do. Mr. Brooks, would you like to go back and change into your suit?
My position has not changed whatsoever, and it will not change, as it is my right to come into court how I would like to.
Listen, Daryl now has COVID. Let's go. Let's check this out.
So I'm not
Well,
arguing with you,
I
sir,
know, I
one
just
bit.
want you to know that I'm not arguing with you either, but I was right in the middle of finishing what I was saying.
So I need to stop you for a minute, Mr. Brooks,
I don't
because
consent to that, Your Honor, because
you don't have to consent,
I
but here
don't
we go.
consent or
Let
agree to
me.
being cut off right when I'm trying
All right,
to
I'm just
provide
going to
the
talk
court with
over him for a
information.
minute. I do not have any other information regarding the COVID-19 protocol, meaning anything specific about you, Mr. Brooks, other than what was put in the inmate communication, which reads, due to just learning I'm on COVID-19 protocol, I respectfully ask for all proceedings to be adjourned at this time.
which is why I asked you if there was any other information you wanted to provide me as I consider your request, because the jail has not provided me with any specific information regarding the reason you were placed on protocol, whether you were exposed, whether you are showing symptoms. They cannot provide me with that information absent you giving them permission by signing an applicable authorization to do that. Without that, I have to rely upon you to provide that information to me if you so choose.
That is incorrect because
Look at his demeanor. Slouch in on the table. He's not even like, look, this is someone who has COVID. Have you seen people with COVID who truly have COVID? They're too tired to even stand up. Look at him. He's slouched like this, staring and not feverish. What? What? Of course it was a lie. Of course it was a lie. But look. He says he has COVID. Let's read the results.
Your Honor, I don't consent to being talked to in that fashion.
Your lack of consent is noted for the record.
Okay. It's time for the results.
Please find the piece of paper, open it up, and please read it.
Open.
I will not consent to that, Your Honor. Or do I agree to that, Your Honor? I do not.
Mr. Brooks, then I'm going to advise the Sheriff's Department to find the piece of paper and hand it to me so that I can read it.
Okay.
So that
Oh, Judge Darrell was like, let me show you something. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Judge Darrell was like, honey, let me tell you something. I'm the freaking judge. Please. She was enjoying this muscle flexing. Oh, she was enjoying it. Look, she's like, she has a little smirk on her face. Oh, Judge.
those are your two options.
Look,
What
she's a
would be the basis for
little
that, Your Honor?
smiley.
Mr. Brooks, this is an issue that you raised, and I need to bring it to finality and know what the test result is.
Okay, with all due respect, it was a motion that I raised.
All right, I'm going to clear the courtroom. We're going to go off the record, and we're going to find that piece of paper,
Okay.
and I'm going to address it when that's done.
Look at his face. No, mommy, no.
I needed to make a record of what was being done, including that I have obtained the test result, so there's an accurate record in this case related to the motion that was raised previously by Mr. Brooks. I want Mr. Brooks to know that I am not removing him from when the jurors are brought back in. It was just simply because he was upset.
Of course.
He was very loud when I walked into the courtroom before going on back on the record. He was yelling about his constitutional rights being violated. I advised him
Oh my
that
God.
if there was any type of use of force
never
that he
gets
wanted to
old.
complain about, he could certainly do that through the proper channels with the Sheriff's Department. But just given his state of agitation and my need to make a record, I had him taken to the other courtroom. He is currently muted. I do not intend to go forward with additional testimony. Ultimately, I'm going to take an early lunch break
Okay.
because of this.
I'm gonna take a
But I
nap.
will make a record of the following. I have the result. I am going to scan it, have my clerk scan it. It will be filed as confidential, though. It won't be available to the public. But it's there for appellate purposes. But I can
Appellate.
confirm that the test result
You hear
for
that, haters?
COVID-19 was negative. And again, I required the Sheriff's Department to provide that result to me. And it was, and it will remain under seal.
There's nothing to seal. He's negative. What am I looking in there for? Who's going to unseal this? To see what? Negative? Why would I not trust you, Judge? Look, the judge just said that for record purposes. Listen. That was unbelievable, wasn't it? Yeah. Yes. Sitting there all upset. Okay, I have to make a final thought. Let's go to my final thought. So, look, this is going to be part one. And I have to go. Listen to me very closely. If you're new here, my operation is timed, and I ran out of time. I'm very close to the time where I need to get out of here and start editing. Otherwise, it doesn't make that much sense to me anymore. So, if there will have to be a part 2. They're still in the same folder. This is the same forgotten folder. There's still 3 topics that I wanted to hit. It's just too long. It's too long. But as a final thought for what we've seen so far, this is again, watching this for a second time, unbelievable how much the emotions came back. And it really goes to show, in my defense or in my support, is that, you know, when I write something, or when I'm interested, I'm interested. It really goes to show that I get emotionally invested in all the stuff that I do, which is a positive. It can be a negative, but which is a positive, which means that, wow, this really, really, really ticked me. This was not farcical. Yeah, that makes me happy. This is on my own little ego stroke that, you know, I was being honest with myself when I put this down, which is great. Look, Daryl was a monster. And let me tell you something. These 2 ladies, we all realized that after the fact. People wondering, why is she so nice? It's not that it's because she understood. They understand the law better than us, guys. Better than us combined. She's a judge. And I guarantee it that she was like, okay, look, Miss Opper, we got to make sure this guy never leaves. Yes, we got to make sure this guy never leaves. I agree with you, Judge Darrell. Together. Right? Do you think my affectation is stupid? They are pretty silly, aren't they? Which is why, like, a lot of time people are not sure if we're fighting or not. No, if I'm mad at you, I'm mad, but I will giggle and laugh in the madness. Yeah. They're like, are we fighting? Yes, we're fighting. Complete disaster. But yeah, I know it's confusing. Anyway, listen to me. You know, I have a client who's a federal judge here in Jersey, and I brought up my questions to him, straight to him. I said, I don't want to give his name. Oh man, I don't want to give his name. He warned me, don't play with me, else. I was like, okay, Mr. W. Okay. Anyway, listen. So I said to him, Mr. W, so I have a question, and I have this YouTube stuff, and, you know, question, why, first of all, why hasn't the law been updated, considering the fact that we're so advanced now? We have all the technology and the machine. Like, if we can see you do the crime, if I see you do the crime, why do we have to go to this stupid trial? Obviously, you're guilty. I can see it. I can see you. Look, you picked up the knife. You walked over and you stabbed. Oh, look at that. I don't understand why we have to go through all that protocol. You know what he said to me? Oh, this is I'm telling you, this judge, these people are smart. He said to me, he's like, no, Alistair. The reason why the purpose of the trial is the purpose of due process. Is to make sure that no sleazy lawyer wiggle themselves into a little crack somewhere and get someone who needs to be put away, gets them free. He said lawyers are very good at finding, I don't know that word in English, astuce? Oh, my battery's dying. Oh, great. Okay, look. Quick pause. Okay, back. So what I did really quickly is I went to eat something really quickly while my phone was charging. So like I was saying, Mr. W was said lawyers are very good at finding astuce. Astuce is like loopholes. What am I doing? Yeah. Sorry. Loopholes. So that's the final thought. All right. Let's go to the Let's Talk segment. Love that segment. Let's talk. Oh my God, it's the best segment ever. Okay. Hey, look. You know what I want to know? How was your weekend? What you do this weekend? What's the highlight of your weekend? Tell me more about your story. I mean, share more. Tell me about your day. How was your day? What was the highlight of your life? Look, I know what you're thinking, right? What's going on? Why are we having updated the wall? Look, I'll tell you exactly what's going on. So I use the company Mixtiles, and the thing is, you have to order 6 batch at a time, and so I have to make up stuff to upload. Anyway, long story short, so what I've done is I've laid out the few cases moving forward. I've already picked out their mascots, and so I ordered it. So I did order it late, and partially the reason why is because I spent way too long of a time to figure out what I should do for Kohlberger. And I remember I was saying to myself, you can't take 2 weeks to make a decision. That's just ridiculous. That's a ridiculous too long amount of time. So I ordered a batch, and I just picked something random, and they'll be here when they'll be here. So no, I didn't forget. It's supposed to be updated. I know. And just in case you're thinking, and I may not be moving as fast as you might like, but trust and believe, I am moving. I'm maybe not as fast as I would like also, but I'm moving as best I can, right? Today, look, it was so cool looking at Darrell Brooks' old files. Let me tell you another cool thing about every time I upload them, I delete them. The old files, I don't have them anymore. That's why I couldn't go back. When, I was talking, I was like, oh man, I can't go back. I deleted them because I uploaded it already on a YouTuber. So I deleted them. And that's one of the cool thing about when I do a video is I delete all that. Just like my notes graveyard, it's all jumbo into the graveyard. Yeah. I take a while to remove those just in case I want to go back into my notes. I do try to make the stories coherent, even the cases. I do try to make it all fit into a single bubble of cohesiveness. It's hard because some stories are so different from another, but I do try to make some sense when I post. I do. Check the time. Yeah. So there's a few timers. Every segment, it's going to sound crazy. I go over time all the time. Listen, this is how my thing is timed to give you more perspective. So it's roughly 2 hours of talking to you. So 2 hours of shooting so total. I can't go above that. That includes the let's talk, even though I cheat a little bit, just a little bit, maybe 5-10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes I cheat. But 2 hours because it's about 3 hours of editing. So that's like 5 hours per video that I post. That's just the work for the video. Doesn't include the 2 days research that I do. Now it's not full 24 hours research the 2 days, but I don't really calculate those because I do them during my entertainment, like as if I'm watching TV, but I'm actually researching on those cases because I find it also interesting and I like it as well. So I just I'm just gonna research, and I do take notes when I do it. But all in all, if I'm not careful, I can take up to 24 hours. Yeah. Because I get lost when I get lost in my research because it's so entertaining, and sometimes I get lost when I talk because I get lost. My mind wanders. I get lost. So if I'm not careful to stay on track, I can sound so disorganized. And like at the beginning, sometimes some videos would take, I'll tell you, some Darrell Brooks videos would be like 24 hours to total. If I calculate everything all together, be like, wow, I spent 24 hours just to shoot, edit, talk, research. Like it would be too long. Like it doesn't even make sense. You can't spend 24 hours on a video at least there. Come on, stop that. That's why I had to put a process in place because like at the 1 video fine, 2 video fine, but like I had to put together a process. Otherwise, that's not sustainable, okay? You can't spend 24 hours on a video post. What? You're like, what are you doing? It's because everything is interesting and I see everything and I watch everything and I want to include everything. But look what I opt out. I had to opt out all this stuff because I was like, oh, okay, it's not that important. It's not that important, So I opted out. I just never deleted it because I never delete anything. It's such a mess. Yeah. It's so cold. So cold. Freezing. Cold. What's the new highlights? Right, so Tuesday. Is that Tuesday? Tuesday is the live, right? So let me just do a double check. Yeah, it is. Tuesday 31st. What time? Okay, so that means on Monday I have to let you know. Monday I have to do a post and let you know what time it's gonna be. 5 p.m. maybe? Eastern? 6 p.m. Eastern? 7 p.m. Eastern? Yeah. Same time as the other ones? Yeah. Listen, I'm not super proud of my lives. I'm proud because we have a good time, but in terms of like quality and stuff, it's not so great. Come on, it's not so great. But you know, at the moment, I'm having the best time of my life. It's just looking back, I go, wow, what a mess. So we'll give it another shot and see how I do with my operationness. And let's see. Thank you. Oh yeah, wait. Not a thank you, I'll start. No, it's important. It's important. Look, you can't please everybody. Come on, I can't please everybody. Like I make no delusion. Sometimes people look at me and they go, "Oh my God, him again." Yeah. I'm sure. Like I can't please everyone, and not every story is for everyone. I totally understand that. Not everyone's gonna like whatever you post. So you know, every time I post, I'm always like, okay, I hope I make them happy. I hope I make them happy. I hope I make them happy. Yeah. I care. I absolutely care. And so I have to say, because you know, some stories are not big hitters, but you know, you still watch. Thank you. Thanks. All right. A little warning. Okay. I have 3 more minutes. I'm gonna stick on time with this one. Yeah. Warning. So, you know, at the beginning when I say thank you and the intro and all that good stuff, I have to shrink that down to ideally 2 minutes, including my name is Ali Stanzekyo and this is my point of view, right? So you have the intro and then whatever. I need to shrink that down to 2 minutes max. So it's going to seem like I'm like rushing on and talking fast. I'm not going to take as long of a time as I'm not going to make it long-winded anymore. I'm just going to be like, hi, thanks. Let's start, right? Yeah. Why? It has everything to do with, again, saving time. Everything to do with being efficient. Yeah. You know, it's in life, you know, you get like what your dream is. Oh, one day I'm going to be an astronaut. And then reality sets in and you're like, I don't know. I don't know. You're like a regular person. Oh, I'm going to be president one day. And then you're like, oh, look at me. I'm just normal. Yeah. It's one of those things where like you have an idea, you have what things should be. And then reality comes in and smacks you in the face and says, no, that's not sustainable. You can't do that. You know, as much as I want to sit here and talk all the freaking time, all day, reality speaking, it's not really feasible. Maybe if I was 18. No, I can't do that. So reality is smacking me in the face, and yeah. If I'm not careful with my time, it will become harder and harder over time. So I really need to like pay attention more. So I will, but it's not because I don't like saying thank you. No. It's just that I have to be mindful. Yeah, and then my eyeballs looking at everywhere. Because there's a lot of stuff I need to track. Yeah, I need to track at the time. I need to track as to how long, you know, when I start a new segment, if there's a timer in my head, I go clock, segment, go. And I blah, 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 blah. I look to make sure I stay within. I have a grosso modo idea of when I should start edging myself away from it. Like, okay, enough. You talked enough about that. I have an idea. Sometimes I go over because, you know, because over. Like right now I'm looking at it. I have 1 minute. Right now I'm looking at it. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And yeah, it's gonna make me talk faster. I know. No, I could do it. Yeah. What the F? Wait, it's the end of the video. What the? I'm not chancing it. What the F? 30 seconds. Look, you have been so amazing. Listen, February is right here. It's going to be one of the best month. Very cold January has been January has been, oh no, it hasn't been cold, but lately it's been really freaking for cold. Oh, I cannot wait to start gardening, please. Oh my God, I was like, yeah, come on, spring, hurry up. I need to see that green touch to my trees. Like, hi, darlings, I missed you so much. Give me my fruits. All right, thank you so much for watching. I have to go now. It's 11:05. Bye. You are amazing.